right, hey y'all. Thank you for tuning in again for another episode of I Do Affirm Affirmation Conversation. Today's topic is I am tough, as you can see from my camouflage that I'm wearing today. My guest today is Miss Ebony Thomas, Esquire. Yes, that is correct. Esquire is her name because she is an attorney in the U.S. Army, but that is not all, and we're gonna get to all that. How you doing, Ebony?
Hi, Jessica. Thank you so much for having me on today's talking about affirmation. I am tough, so I definitely appreciate you. So,
Well, girl, absolutely. I definitely figured that you would be the perfect person to be on this topic. First of all, just following your journey. So you were born in Philadelphia, correct? Born and raised,
yeah, I
and that's
am
where you
Philadelphia.
visiting right now, right?
Yes, I am, and I'm actually, in one of my people's, businesses. So if you hear the phone ring, please excuse it. So that's how we make our money. So, yes, I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was born in Southwest Philly. Lived here all my life, until I went to college, so I'm home in between my transition into my next job. So
Nice. So tell us how it was growing up in Philly. I mean, I have been there one time as a tourist, though. I saw the Liberty Bell. I ate at Pat and Gino's. They were like, right kind of cut a corner across. But that was it. I only had like the touristy feeling of Philly. But how is it
no,
like for real?
for real, like on some real, like Philly is, I love Philly. That's my heart. That's where I'm from. And it's like, I think we get a bad rep, even though we're supposed to be a city of brotherly love. People look at the violence and like, oh, this is a horrible city. But on some real, I had a lot of great people that really supported me and encouraged me to be where I'm at today. So for example, like I live in an urban community, in the inner community, and it could be kind of rough. I had friends that were locked up, got a couple friends that had life sentences, and, had my brother got killed at the age of 3, things of that nature. It's a lot of violence. So there's a lot of violence, but the people are at the core are really good people. I remember like I never did any drugs, never smoked weed. I had friends that did, but it never exposed me to that. So when they knew that they was about to smoke, oh, Eb, I'm about to smoke, I was like, okay, thanks for letting me know. Let me move out the way, So they never like, oh, try to force me to do any drugs, try to force me to do anything else. Anytime I broke a record at West Point, they would celebrate in my success. They were just so proud of me, And I had like a particular individual in the neighborhood. I used to always go over her house, go in her refrigerator, like you didn't keep the doors locked. Some people don't go, you just go in, you don't knock, say, oh, let's stay home, just go in, make your stuff at home. So it was like family, family that are not related by blood. So I love it. So I miss it. I enjoy it. So, yeah.
Well, that kind of sounds kind of like how it was growing up in St. Louis. I'm pretty sure we lock all of our doors now, but back then it kind of was like that. You just knock on the door, you knew everybody mama, everybody knew you, I mean, it was kind of like the neighborhood watch. Everybody knew you. They was gonna tell your grandma and your mama if you was doing something you ain't had no business doing. But,
Snitches.
exactly.
Talk about they don't snitch. You snitch.
Exactly. We
You
know.
snitch
Like,
so you get some credit. You don't got no credit.
I know you told.
Exactly. Like
But that's
you ain't
amazing.
slick.
So
Yeah.
you definitely mentioned West Point, which first of all is phenomenal, especially with you being a Black woman. Explain how you went from West Philadelphia, born and raised, but you ain't West, but
Southwest. Okay, let's get that particular.
I'm just getting my Fresh Prince of Bel-Air lyrics on to West Point. Like, how did that happen for you?
That was such an interesting journey in and of itself, I think, because I went to a public high school in North Philadelphia. So even though I live in Southwest, I was traveling like close to like hour and a half to get to the other side of the city, so I can go to school. I'm always there, always on time. Went through metal detectors daily. It was the normal for us. But while I was there, that school previously, like before I got there, had 4 individuals, which was the most in the public school at that time, that was accepted to West Point. So we had the West Point minority outreach department used to come to certain schools, and they chose the school that I graduated from, George Washington Carver High School, Engineering Science. They come talk to us about opportunities and about how they had 4 students that previously was selected, and those kind of things. Because before that, I didn't know what the West Point was. I was like, what is this? Like, what? I ain't going to nobody's army. You know, I had like long
Oh,
braids.
right.
I was so real. Like it was crazy. Like I was like, I ain't going to nobody army. But when they said they pay you to go to school, I was like, oh, really? You pay me to learn? I say that's the best way to learn, you know. And I also had my parents at the time. They told me they wasn't going to provide for me financially and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, this is a great opportunity to pursue if I am accepted. So I had one of the guys that was giving presentation, Mr. Pryor, he now passed away. He was such a great inspiration for me. He actually helped me throughout the process. It was just, it was so transformative, you know, just talking to him and just visiting West Point. I saw West Point the first, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. This is different from what I was used to, you know. I mean, there was no pollution, you know, it was so beautiful, like green tree, you know. It was like, oh, this is a pretty place, you know, little castle. Like, I love Harry Potter, and I'm gonna meet my, you know, you know. So it was just so great and so beautiful setting. I was like, this is where I wanted to go. So even though I went to West Point, I wasn't recruited to run track, even though people think that I was because I broke records, you know. I
Wow.
was, you know, I was great allegedly, you know, but that's not what I went for. I went because of academics. So when I got on the track team and I ended up breaking records, you know, that was another, you know, trying time. But that was something that I knew that I was talented to do, and whatever contributions I can have to help with my school, you know, I would definitely do, you know. So being a team player was always a must, even despite injuries and, you know, things I had to suffer in between. So that was good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, did you have a tough time, since we're talking about the affirmation tough? Did you have a tough time at West Point, or did you find it pretty easy to go through school there?
You know, looking back during the time, I don't think about whether it's tough or not. I think like, hey, I started something, I'm not going to quit, you know?
Right.
So, but looking back now, it's like, dang, I really went through some stuff, you know? But I don't want to say it was because I was Black, because I was a woman, nothing like that. I think it's because it's a different environment. Coming from an environment that I came from, where you are around individuals who, like I said, that have been arrested, that, you know, had babies at a young age, that, you know, may not live to see 18 now, you know, it's just like, wow, I'm really in a place where my integrity counts, you know. Like, I don't have to go through metal detectors. I can leave my wallet out. I can do this. I can do that. People are willing to help me without putting me down, you know. So it's a different change of environment. And I think the toughest time I had was my freshman year, my plebe year, my first semester. I remember I had like 3 F's and a D, first 6 week grades. I was like, what the heck is going on? I was like, I thought I was national honor society. I thought I was, you know, I thought I was smart, you know, despite the public education I received. I still thought I was smart. My confidence was not lacking in that area. But, you know, West Point has a way to humble you, you know. But not only do they have a way to humble you, but they also know how to way to build you up if that's something you choose to allow them to do. So one thing I definitely did was I was like, I do not like this. This is not a reflection of who I am. I had upperclassmen telling me, oh, they don't think I'm good militarily, which is surprising, but they don't think that I have the academic qualifications to finish and graduate. And that kind of sparked a different fire in me, you know. And I was like, I'm not letting these people define me. They don't know who the heck I am and where I came from. They're not going to tell me what I'm capable of doing or achieving. So when they told me that, I was like, okay, I see what you're trying to do to me. And I'm not going to allow you to pick me into this in this place, you know, in this pigeonhole, you know, and I'm gonna fight my way out of it. And that's what I definitely did. So so that was the only semester that I had that low GPA, which that semester I had 2.1. Next semester of my freshman year, I had a 2.4. And after that, I had 2.9. And after that, I just was on dean list every semester afterwards. And
That's
I graduated with over 3.0 in engineering management, focused civil engineering, and broke records simultaneously before that as well, before I retired, you know.
wow.
But yeah, so it's just something that when you think what people want to tell you is like, okay, you're gonna tell me. But I'm happy, like you said, when we talk about Philadelphia. Philadelphia prepared me for that. Like, you know, it's a real stuff. Like, we can't be weak. Like, we can't be punks. Like it's just weird. Like it's weird because it's like I was thinking, I was like, oh, I could sue for this right here. Like, I didn't know this. I was beat up. I was this. I was that. You know, you don't think of like how many lawsuits are in the hood. You know, until you become
Right.
a
I
lawyer.
know,
Like,
right?
oh my goodness, like, oh my goodness, I could have so many clients right now based on what I experienced. You know, people talking about sexual harassment. I'm like, dang it, did you know like sexual harassment where I was from was welcome? You know, goodness,
Girl, I'm
for a
telling you, you can't
long
even go to
time.
the corner store. Hey,
Without
Shouty, hey,
getting yes,
oh my
yes.
gosh. And then they verbally assault you when you turn them down. I'm like, man, let me give you a fake number. Just here. Just call me after 8. Jesus, like
Yes,
they
that's what
girl.
yes, that's what I
They
was
don't know.
telling somebody. I was like, yes, like, hey Shirley, what's your number? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I can't believe that I was not supposed to be yelled at like this. I was supposed to be doing this. And I was like, yeah. So it just made you tough and it made you more aware of like I wasn't naive, you know. You can't be naive in a lot of these situations because you have to be aware of your surroundings and things that you may not be familiarized with. So there's certain neighborhoods you really couldn't go into if you didn't know the people, you know, so you stay away. And I learned one thing, and this was the toughest situation I think. And my sister, she gets mad when I tell this story though, because I don't know, you know, people have their little issues and stuff, you know. And I always had a mouth for me. I don't know. So people get mad at the mouth. I am listen. I am toned down much more than I have ever been. Okay. So she called, listen, my sister, she gets, I used to get her in so many fights. Okay. Good. Because me running my mouth and I really couldn't fight that well. Okay. So,
I'm dead.
and
Oh,
all I did was run my mouth. And my sister was such a sweet soul. You know, she's such a sweet soul. So she could never let me get beat up by myself. So she always jumped in. So she was talking to this good dude one day. And his baby mom got on the phone talking crap, whatever, though, you know. And they from South Philly, right? So let's see, South Philly girls, they tough though. They be bringing razors, they crazy, right? So you don't want to fight South Philly girls, you know. So you try to be pretty, you need to, you know, keep your collection, you know, separate from those particular individuals sometimes. But anyway, they came down and I, of course, you know, I say, oh, they're like, where you at? I gave them the address, right? Stupidly, you know. so they rolled up like 8 people deep. It was me and my sister and the bull. Oh, they jumped me. They beat. I was like 14 at the time. They beat my butt. And they was grown women beating me up. But again, no, that was me running my mouth, you know. So I had to learn how to stop running my mouth, you know, because I get beat up when I run it. So, but it was just such, yeah, it was a lesson. But again, it's like those kind of lessons. Like, okay, wait, if I didn't run my mouth, I wouldn't have had this happen, you know. Even though I mean, it wasn't that I think I had like a black eye. I went to school next day, so people got stung by a bee. Something stupid, you know. Goodness, I couldn't mess up my street cred now. Okay, goodness. In my little magnet school, I couldn't mess that street cred up, you know.
Oh my God, you're killing me right now.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it though. But on a more serious note, but again, like I said, like Philly really is such a great city, and we have a lot of different personalities, and it just makes you more like like no matter where I'm at in the world, like I've been stationed multiple places, it's like I always miss home, you know, because my city is so beautiful despite how much we have to endure, you know. And I was telling someone, I was like, I had my niece, so her daddy was killed before she was born. And I was telling someone, I was like, these kids got PTSD, but yeah, they still smiling. They still tough. So I was like, how can I sit up here and be like, oh, my life is this? When I see a lot of like a lot of kids around me, you know, that endure a lot. You're talking about parents on drugs, you know, exposed to a lot of hardships, you know, and things of that nature, but yet they still try to become better than their environment. And even if they don't know exactly how, they still trying to do something, you know, versus find an easy way out. So it's just so those situations. And my grandmother, of course, so my grandmother went to college in the late 1930s. So she went to Fayetteville. She's from North Carolina. So she went to college. So she always instilled in us like the importance of education and the other things like that. And I remember her and I conversed before she passed away a couple years ago. And she always talked about how she's like, you know, people talk about Rosa Parks was tough. She's like, man, I always tell her I'm my center back the bus. My girl was just so tough, you know, like she didn't care what she was exposed to. Like she was like the toughest person that I knew. Like she endured a lot. She buried her grandmother, her own mother. She buried, and her mother died in her arms. You know, yeah, she raised 6 kids successfully. They all went to college and become college educated. and no one left the neighborhood we were from, So even though,
Wow.
we are more fortunate than other individuals because we knew what education looked like, how to be successful, because she was the definition of success. It's like, but how do we go about doing it is based off of the foundation that she provided us. But she also had a heart of gold. Like, I'm talking about in the community, she to give money, feed the homeless. Like, that's why when I started my nonprofit, it was like, I'm actually doing what my grandma's been doing. I'm just only saying I'm a 501c3 doing it.
Right.
But
Talk about your
everything that,
nonprofit.
yeah, yeah. Oh, so my
Urban
nonprofit is
Dream
Urban Dream
Initiative,
Initiative.
correct? That's right.
Yes, Urban Dream Initiative. So I founded it back in 2019, after two of my cousins was murdered. I was like, this doesn't make any sense why my people are dying in such high numbers. And then after losing someone that I basically taught how to ride a bike, I taught him like a lot of things. I used to defend him all the time. Like I said, I had the mouth from me, so I used to fight the neighborhood bullies, and get my butt beat up again. I'm telling you, get my ass beat all. I used to get my butt beat all the time. But it was something that was, it was definitely worthwhile, But he passed away, got shot in the back of his head, and I had to go to the funeral, and I did the eulogy, and I was like, I was just nothing but tears. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. We'll do more. I was like, I've been to war, and yet I'm coming home safely. So what do we need to do as a community? Or what can I do, to hopefully make a difference? So after that happened, I got a group of my good friends together from West Point and from all walks of life, from military, whatever I've been a part of. And they came together to support this initiative. And we started, so we have four initiatives: the economic initiative, we have the educational initiative, we have the homeless initiative, and we have the physical health initiative. So each initiative, we have a team lead, chief of it, and we have responsibility. They have responsibilities for events and things that need to occur throughout each initiative. So we made a lot. We're making partnerships right now. We're doing a lot right now in certain cities. So we're focusing right now on Philadelphia, Newport News, Virginia. We want to go to Chicago. We need Chicago yet, but we more so on the East Coast right now. Washington D.C., Baltimore. So those are cities, and I think we said Atlanta, but we're not there yet. But these are cities that we're trying to focus on right now, so we can provide more resources to our urban communities. So yeah.
Well, that's really amazing. Well, if y'all ever need want to expand to St. Louis, I definitely have some friends who have similar nonprofit organizations. That's my hometown, born and raised. So I will, just let me know.
No, that would be awesome. Actually, I have one of our team members. He's actually from Missouri, and he wants us to get into Missouri, but it
Nice.
wasn't St. Louis he was talking about. I think he was talking about Springfield, Missouri.
Okay, yeah, Springfield is
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he was talking about Springfield, Missouri. But no, I think St. Louis probably be a more of a place that we can definitely talk about.
It's definitely more urban, but Springfield is good too. Oh, that's amazing. I completely love what you're doing. I think it's phenomenal. I think you're a boss. I love seeing that. I'm like, okay, you're, an officer in the army, you're a lawyer at that. And then I see what you're doing with your Urban Dream Initiative. And I mean, it is all inspiring. One thing I love about you and everybody, that I talk to about you, they love your energy, your high energy all the time, which is very similar to me. We talked about this just the other day, and it's like you are authentically yourself. It is very obvious that you're from Philly. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's very obvious that you are not going to change who you are for nobody, but they cannot take away, those accolades. I mean, you're a West Pointer, for goodness sake. And usually, they don't even really impress me, to be completely honest. But I'm impressed that you are. I am. Because some people use it, as a way to elevate themselves and depress others. Some people use things like that to elevate themselves and depress others, but I don't get that from you. You know what I'm saying? Yours it's a different, story, a different feeling when you talk about that. So I am really proud of you for that, because honestly, if y'all don't know what West Point is, you might want to go and Google it, because that is absolutely phenomenal. It really is very elite. So, I mean, from South Philly to West Point, that's phenomenal. And then an attorney, I mean, that is amazing. And now the founder of a nonprofit in many different cities with several different super important initiatives, helping other people. That is so powerful, especially being that you have had so many experiences in your life with friends and family that you've had to develop like this tough exterior, to deal with. That is amazing. So
Yeah.
ask you just like a random question. If you had to tell us, something that you're tough at that we might not know, because you already told us that you can't fight, but you don't gotta fight. You can fight for others in the courtroom. We know that. And through your Urban Dream Initiative, which I'm gonna make sure that we put that information. What would
No, hold on. Let me rephrase it. I can fight. Okay, goodness. I just couldn't fight 8 big females at one time. Okay, goodness. I just knew I should not mess with these type of females.
Oh yeah, okay.
Let me clarify that now. Okay, goodness.
She can't
I ain't scared.
You can't not fight.
Listen, I was fighting the boys though. Like, see, I'm the kind of person that's like, I don't back down for anybody. I don't care if you're male, female, or whatever, big, small, whatever. You come from me, I'm gonna come back. Goodness.
Right.
So that was the issue right there. And so
I can't
most people come from me.
Ebony, so I'm with you.
So yeah, I took that L. I took that L. I was like, I'm not doing that. But let me say something that that I'm tough at, and people don't think that I'm tough at, and people will be surprised. I'm mentally tough. I think that is something that surprised a lot of people. Yeah, and they say, oh, I could do pull-ups. I can squat 300 pounds. I could actually 385. I think 450 was my max actually. Well, but I can do all that. Yeah, I can. No, yeah, I can. Exactly. So I can do all that. Physical toughness is great, but I think people don't understand. Like, despite everything I've been through, I could put that aside and still complete the mission. So that mental toughness, I think, is something that surprised a lot of people. Because I remember I had this organization that I was at previously, and they said that I'm trying to play the victim. And I was like, sir, my daddy was a crackhead. All the trials and tribulations I've been through my life, through West Point, to where I'm at today, never once been a victim, been more than a conqueror. So what else you got from me?
Exactly.
So those are the kind of things that I think. I don't let people tell me what I can or cannot be. That is one thing I refuse to allow anyone to do so. And I told somebody recently, I'm just off back that. And one thing I definitely think I submit to man because of my faith. That is why. I submit to orders because God told me to submit to orders from my faith perspective. I'm not scared of nothing, okay? And that is my problem, because sometimes when you have such lack of fear, you kind of expose yourself where people think they can just come for you and you're just going to sit here. But I also learned too, despite my lack of fear, sometimes silence is a response, So I don't even pay people attention no more. It's like I live for me, because I know that the only person I'm gonna be judged for behavior is my own, not no one else's. So I just keep moving forward, and I try not to look backwards, even when I do make a mistake. I'm like, listen, my bad, keep moving. Goodness, I own it, I account for it. Goodness, but I'm not gonna live with it every day. So those are kind of things that I learned over my little past certain amount of years. I'm going to be young all my life now. So I learned over my certain years of life, like, this is something that I definitely wanted to do. So, yes.
Well, if you could give someone who was struggling in this area, who felt, who were experiencing a lot of things, going through some stuff, but weren't able really to find their toughness, like you, for example, what would you tell them?
I say that when you think of, I think it's not finding your toughness, it's just believe it in yourself, And I think that's more so than anything else, because the world's going to doubt you. People are going to doubt you. People have expectations that you're not going to live up to. But long as you look at yourself, say, you know what? I appreciate you. I love you. And I know that you're going to make it. And then that is all that it needs to take. And I'm going to say this last thing, because I remember when I was applying to West Point, and I had one of the senders, when I went to go forward to get a nomination from a sender, his committee told me that they don't feel that I was qualified. They said, oh, I have a great story. They told me that. They don't feel that I was qualified enough to go to the academy, and that they not going to give me basically the recommendation, in other words. And I told those people, I was like, I'm not going to the military unless I go to the academy. I said it probably a little bit more forceful. But that's what I definitely said. I was like, no, I want to go to the best of the best. And that's what I told them. And even though they didn't see what I saw in me, I'd not allow what they saw stop me from applying and going there and then winning and doing what I need to do to graduate. And I'm saying I'm not going to allow your views of me be my views. And I think that's the issue with a lot of people in today's time is that we get caught up on how other people view us. Listen, the reflection I see in the mirror is not yours, it's mine. Goodness.
That's
So
right.
I care about my view of me. Goodness. Your view of me. I don't know about this today now. Goodness. I disagree. You can keep it. I don't care. I don't keep it. But they get mad when you don't want to agree with their view of you.
Exactly.
What? I don't listen. I'm okay with you viewing me this way. That's on you. Congratulations on that view. Okay, goodness.
I
But
know,
you're not going to change my view of me.
right?
And I think when people start realizing how great and how amazing, how special they are, that everything they've been through, not to say I hate when you say anything they make you tougher, even though that's cliche, and I really don't like it. Because sometimes I'm like, I wish I went through a drama-free life. Really, I really wish I did. But it did not happen that way. So I'm like, I'm not going to dwell on what didn't or did occur. I'm just going to like, okay, hey, this is what came to me. And I'm just going to make the best of it. But if you can live a drama-free life, it's great. And if you can't, use that drama to propel you to become a drama-free, say, hey, this is what I was supposed to, and I want to expose that to no one else. And this is how I want to become my future self, because there's a lot of times you have self-doubt to you and a lot of brokenness, like, and it took a lot for me to become the woman I am today. A lot of brokenness, a lot of great supporters from all over my life. They gave me that encouragement, like, Ebony, continue. I know what you're going through. Don't stop. I'm proud of you. And I was like, oh my gosh, you girl, I needed that. Like, please, thank you. Tell me again. Let me hear it again. Sometimes I just called them just so I can get that word of encouragement. So having a team, especially what you're doing with the I Do Affirm, Jessica, what you're doing is so amazing, so inspirational. And like, I don't know you talking about me, but what you're doing, even with, mentorship for the military and all the things that you have your hands in, I think is not only impressive, but it's just like, wow, like we talk about people that, people always talk about, let's make it a change, but don't do nothing. But you actually doing it. You actually in meetings, you actually trying to bridge the gaps and make things better for all people. And I think that is what I love about you, and that's why I readily agreed to do this because like it's not about me. It's about how can I help this young lady, who have been so inspirational, that have conquered so many obstacles, and rose above it all and still be able to smile as bright as you are. So, and that is what I adore about you. And I just want to say, like, thank you so much for having me on this I Do Affirm today to talk a little bit about me, but
I think we lost her, y'all. But that was Ebony. Love her to death. So basically, um, like she said, stay tough. The roads ahead of you are not going to be easy. They never are. It wasn't meant to be easy. It was meant to teach a lesson, right? There's a lesson in every challenge. There is a challenge in every day. And you just got to keep on pushing yourself, right? I know I probably said that before, depending on the order in which I post these. Make sure you grow as you go. All right. I just want everybody to be happy, be blessed, just be your best self. That is literally all that I want for everybody. And I just appreciate y'all watching. Um, oh, she's coming back, y'all. Hold on. She's coming back. We're going to give her a proper goodbye. Hey, Ebony.
girl,
You left us, but I told them we're gonna bring you back to give you a proper goodbye. I want to make sure before we let you go to see if you had anything else. But I do thank you for your kind words that you were giving, and I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. And I do thank you for allowing me to have you on here because I know how hard headed you are, and I know you was like you, I wouldn't do it, and I appreciate it. Yeah, we are like-minded. We are, and I appreciate the things you're out there doing to improve the world, as much as you can. And I'm just trying to do the exact same things that you're trying to do. And so thank you for being my sister in that. And thank you for being here. and stay blessed, stay authentically you, stay true to what you're doing, which I know you will, because you a city girl, like I'm a city girl. It may not be like a young Miami, Carisha city girl type of girl.
Yeah, I can't do all that movement.
No hate, but we just
I can't do that, but I wish I could.
I know, same.
I could do that movement.
But thank you, Ebony. Bye, y'all.